was right, I guess, because you do have an exceptional loss, which is why, or exceptional expense, which is why you're seeing such a loss and a widened loss at that. So that explains Lupin's performance. Just waiting for some of the other parameters, because we're expecting the US sales actually to increase by 7% on a sequential basis. We're seeing higher Tamiflu sales, higher volumes. Also, third quarter can see higher volumes in Glimedza as Teva exited that particular business or drug. So let's just wait by and get in some more details on how the various geographies have actually panned out for Lupin. But Ranvir, what explains this one-time loss? They're saying that it's an exceptional expense to the tune of about 342 crore rupees because of a litigation. How, bereft of that, how are you reading into the performance?
Yeah, so barring that exception, which anyway is difficult to predict, but barring that, otherwise the result is in line what we expected. So we do not see any significant changes in stance. I see that geography-wise also revenue has come in line with expectation in most of the places, except ROW seems better. So I think right now I'm yet to go through in detail, but what broad number you see, it is in line.
Mr. Munde, what are you making on first glance of these numbers? EBITDA at 751 crore versus an expectation of around 665 on Lupin. The stock, after an initial dip, is now recovered slightly. So it's down about 0.5% still as we see it. Margins are coming in at about 17%. That's actually a decent number. Exceptional expenses of 342 crores.
Okay, my EBITDA margin is around 14.3. Okay, overall revenue is above our estimate, above our and street estimate, primarily maybe on account of the ramp up in the US business, which led by the stable Potamate and Glimedza. Also, there is a ramp up in overall their branded product called Solosec, and the stable pricing erosion. It could be the reason. Also, the other reason could be India business growth. We were expecting around 12-13%. So I have not seen the geography-wise revenue, but the overall above estimate revenue is primarily account of the US, India, API, Brazil, and ROW business. We expected muted growth in the Japanese market. On the EBITDA front, EBITDA is below our expectations. My calculations is EBITDA is around 14.3% versus our estimate of 16.3%. So, so below expected EBITDA margin is maybe could be on account of the higher other expenses related to Solosec in the US market, and the higher raw material prices could be the reason.
Okay. The one-time loss aside, the numbers are actually quite okay. They've managed to meet the street estimates, or at least the ET Now poll, for instance. But Ranvir, just wanted to get a sense of what is it that you're expecting the US sales to be? Okay, we've lost Ranvir's connection. Krishnanath, staying with you, what is it that you're expecting individual geographies to do? Because the Tamiflu season, we were expecting it to be a little bit weaker. Do you think the US sales could be around the range of 7%?
No, I do not have the US number. What is the US number in $1 million? Hello?
Yeah.
I'm yet to see the geography-wise revenue because I do not have the press release with me. Can I know the US number?
In fact, I'm going to just quickly get in my research analyst, Pankaj Podar, who tracks the pharmaceutical segment very, very closely. Pankaj, just walk us through all the numbers that you have.
So the US numbers which you were just asking are still awaited. I was actually just trying to find that, trying to locate in the presentation, but that geographical table I think is something which they have not given. Mr. Nilesh Gupta should be speaking anytime now, so we'll just wait and watch for that. You cannot go with the loss number of 152 crores because there is a one-off of 300 crores, and we've told you about the drug which they have made the provision for. EBITDA, on the other hand, is at 750 crores, so it's looking in good, that's the number probably which the street is like. That's why there was an initial decline, and now you're seeing that the markets are just trying to recover and normalize. I think the next trigger will be the US numbers and what the management says going ahead.
Right. Let's also take a look, Mr. Munde, at your expectation going forward, what you'd like to hear from the management on sales and on various fronts, because we've also seen, margin expansion in those figures to some extent, which is also possibly aided by the INR depreciation as well as, of course, sales. What would you like to hear from the management, which we're expecting to speak anytime now?
Yes, actually, the company has been taking most of the cost-cutting measurement. We would like to hear from the management commentary on the SoloSec brand, how the product is ramping up. Because last quarter the product has contributed $3 million, and this is the key product for the company. We would like to hear on the SoloSec brand in the US business, overall the outlook on the US and as well as the India business, and the update on the warning letter on two plant, which is Goa and Indore facility, which is Perindopril Unit 2, and the recent Form 483 on the Munde plant. So we would like to hear on these things. Looking ahead, we expect overall FY19 number would be weak because of the US and other geographies. And the overall growth we are expecting to come in the second half of FY20. Led by the new launches like levothyroxine, Ranexa, one inhaler launch is ProAir, and one biosimilar product is Etanercept in the Europe and Japan. So we think the majority of the growth will come from the second half of 20.
Okay, Krishnanath, we'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for analyzing Lupin's performance for us. Margins above street